Have you noticed it too? Like the whole world is pretending to care, but behind the scenes, it's just one giant transaction. People smile, products promise, relationships sparkle. But everything feels like it's trying to take something from you, not give. It's like we're stuck in a game where trust is the currency, and everyone's bankrupt. You spend hundreds on something premium and walk away emptier than before. A friend calls, not to connect, but to leverage. Companies sell you comfort while mining your pain. People perform kindness until your guard is down. What happened to truth, to soul, to value? If you're feeling this deep, growing dissonance, like everything is built on some invisible scam, you're not paranoid. You're waking up. In this video, we'll unpack why modern life feels so empty and transactional, how it connects to Carl Jung's concept of the shadow, and how an awakened soul can stay sane in a world designed to deceive. So stay with me, because this will rewire the way you see reality. Everywhere you look, ads, influencers, even people close to you, there's a vibe of, what can I get out of you? Not love, not truth, not presence, just extraction. Everything's become content, even conversations, and it's exhausting. We used to crave depth. Now we scroll. We used to build trust slowly. Now we swipe, subscribe, and unfollow by impulse. Even healing became a business model. Even spirituality. You're no longer a person, you're a target audience. And somehow, nobody's talking about the psychological cost of living like this. But Carl Jung did. He spoke of the shadow, the unconscious part of us that we deny, repress, or disown. The part that doesn't fit our ideal self-image. The greedy, jealous, manipulative, broken bits we pretend aren't there. But what happens when a society refuses to face its collective shadow? It begins to project. When you refuse to face your own manipulation, you'll attract manipulators. When you repress your need for control, you'll feel the world is constantly trying to control you. When we run from our own dishonesty, we start seeing scams everywhere. And often, we're not wrong. Because the more we disown the shadow, the more it runs the show. We become actors in a world of actors, performers, projecting illusions, while craving authenticity more than anything. And here's the paradox. The more disconnected we are from our inner truth, the more easily we fall for external lies. That's why the system works so well, because we're not whole, we're hungry. Think about the last time you bought something you didn't really need. Maybe it was a must-have skincare routine, a course that promised success in 30 days, or that subscription you barely use but can't cancel without navigating a maze of fine print. Did it leave you fulfilled, or just lighter in the wallet? Here's what's happening. Companies are experts at studying the psychology of the shadow. They don't sell you products, they sell you the missing pieces of yourself. If you're feeling lonely, they sell you connection, but it's algorithmic. If you're insecure, they sell you beauty, airbrushed and temporary. Feeling lost, they sell you identity through brands, labels, and status. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." And corporations know this better than we do. They know your unconscious fears, your suppressed desires, and your wounds, often before you do. That's what algorithms are, predictive shadows of your behavior. This is why everything feels like a scam, because on a deeper level it is. When you don't face your own shadow, someone else will monetize it. Every click, every craving, every insecurity is an entry point. It's not personal, it's structural. A system that thrives not on your wholeness, but on your disconnection. That's why relationships too start to feel transactional, why friendships feel conditional, why even family bonds sometimes operate like debt. unspoken contracts of, I gave you this, so you owe me that. The collective shadow leaks into everything. We no longer see people, we see opportunity, leverage, or competition. That's shadow projection in action. Here's the thing nobody admits. A scam doesn't always look like a scam. It's not always fraud. It's often disguise. It's the curated life on Instagram, the subscription with hidden fees, the relationship that looks like love but operates like manipulation. Transparency died when appearances became more profitable than reality. And that shift isn't accidental. It's the shadow economy. The more we hide from our own truth, the more we tolerate a culture built on half-truths. Jung believed that the more we repress the shadow, the more it erupts in distorted, destructive forms. Today, that eruption looks like fake authenticity, weaponized empathy, and the feeling that everyone is secretly playing a game of extraction. But here's where it gets powerful. Once you see the shadow, you stop being its victim. You stop letting corporations, institutions, or even manipulative people use it against you. And now we'll explore why the shadow is so dominant today, and why escaping it only makes life feel more scammy. You'll understand why so many people are trapped in deception, and how shadow work flips the script. Because the moment you integrate your shadow, the scams lose their power over you. We live in the age of the performance mask. Everyone's projecting an image, brands, influencers, even ordinary people curating their lives like highlight reels. But behind the filters, there's a silent truth. The shadow is running the show. Carl Jung warned us, what we refuse to face in ourselves doesn't vanish. It grows stronger in the dark. And collectively, we've become masters at running from our inner truth. Instead of confronting envy, greed, loneliness, or rage, we bury it. We put on the smile. We post the aesthetic shot. We say, I'm fine. But the more we bury it, the more it leaks out sideways, through manipulation, lying, empty promises, and scams. A society that avoids its shadow ends up creating a culture of deception. And the more we escape our shadow, the scammier life feels. Because avoidance creates fragmentation. When you deny your anger, you overcompensate with fake kindness, and people sense the dishonesty. When you repress your desire, it comes out as obsession, addiction, or unhealthy attachments. When you deny your fear, you cling to control of others, of outcomes, of appearances. And this avoidance is contagious. When everyone is running from themselves, society becomes a hall of mirrors. Nobody trusts anyone because deep down we don't trust ourselves. This is why the shadow is so dominant today, because it's everywhere and nobody wants to claim it. Think about it. Why does a simple coffee date sometimes feel transactional? Why does networking feel like subtle exploitation? Why does buying something luxury feel hollow instead of fulfilling? Because when shadow dominates, everything is framed around taking, not giving, not nourishing, just extracting. And that extraction drains us, spiritually, emotionally, even physically. The collective mantra becomes, what can I get, instead of, what can I give? And when that's the baseline, no wonder life feels like a scam. Every time we lie to ourselves, every time we hide parts of who we are, we add another layer of distortion. And distortion breeds deception. This is why Jung's psychology feels so relevant today, because the world isn't just filled with scams out there. The scams begin inside. And the longer we live disconnected from our inner wholeness, the more easily we accept fake substitutes, fake love, fake value, and fake meaning. But here's the twist. This isn't hopeless, because the shadow isn't the enemy. The shadow is actually the key. So now, it's time we talk about how integrating your shadow, actually facing it, turns you from prey into power. How working with your shadow makes you unscammable, and how an awakened soul can walk through a deceptive world without being drained by it. This is how we shift from survival to empowerment. Here's the part nobody tells you. The world isn't going to suddenly become honest. Companies won't stop exploiting insecurities. People won't instantly drop their masks. The illusion will keep spinning, but your power lies in how you walk through it. And that starts with shadow work. Carl Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." When you face your shadow, you stop outsourcing your wholeness. You stop expecting companies, products, or even relationships to fill your emptiness, because you've learned to meet yourself there first. Instead of being manipulated by loneliness, you own it, nurture it, and turn it into deeper self-connection. Instead of being consumed by envy, you acknowledge it and transform it into inspiration. Instead of being hijacked by fear, you integrate it and use it as awareness. The scam works only if you remain unconscious. Once you shine a light on your shadow, the scam collapses. Because nobody can sell you what you've already claimed inside yourself. So how does an awakened soul survive in this environment? By flipping the script. See the projection game. When someone tries to manipulate you, instead of reacting, recognize it as their shadow leaking out. This makes you less reactive and more grounded. Practice radical transparency, not fake oversharing, but genuine clarity. The more transparent you are with yourself and others, the harder it is to be caught in deception. Seek depth over surface. Instead of chasing endless novelty, choose experiences, relationships, and practices that nourish. Presence over performance, substance over spectacle. Detach from the endless transaction. Not everything needs to be a trade. Give without expecting. Rest without earning it. Love without calculating. This breaks the economy of extraction. When you live this way, you become like an immune system in a sick culture. Others will still scam, lie, and perform, but you won't be hooked by it. You'll see through it, and that seeing is liberation. The real scam isn't just out there. It's the belief that you are powerless against it. You are not just a consumer of illusions, you're a creator of reality. And once you start integrating your shadow, you stop playing the game of masks. You become more whole, more authentic, and ironically, more trustworthy in a world starving for something real. This is the path Jung pointed toward, individuation, becoming undivided. When you are whole, scams lose their grip, because nothing real can be taken from you. So yes, the world feels like a scam, but that doesn't mean your life has to be. Your power lies in refusing to run from your own depths, in reclaiming the parts of you that have been hiding in the dark. And when you do that, you stop being prey to deception. You start radiating authenticity, and that is the rarest currency of all. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest scam you've ever fallen for, and what did it teach you about yourself and your shadow? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might help someone else see through their own illusions. And if you're someone who loves exploring psychology, spirituality, and the deeper truths of life, make sure to subscribe to Fractal Wisdom so you never miss these conversations. And always remember, the scam loses power the moment you see it for what it is. So keep seeing, keep integrating, and keep awakening.